This is Sunnyside 26. Yeah.
Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worry on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Keep your gait a bit pat, and your troubles with no slow step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street.
First up today is the Winky Todd Everybody's a Star show. Well, not the whole show, just parts of it that we did in Des Moines, Iowa. Squatters? I don't think we're going to have squatters today. We might have cut that. Renaissance. Comedy of history. Comedy of history, the history of comedy. Leon Martell's. And retrospections. Hollywood managers. Telling it like it is.
I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worry on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street.
I got the switch good that time. Thanks for viewing. That's what we call it, viewing. You're viewing it now. You're viewing it now in real time, which is very unlikely because only one or two people are watching these shows live. But you might be viewing this from way in the future. And it doesn't matter whenever you're viewing. I'm happier. I can feel it, even way in the future. Even when I'm dead, I'm going to be feeling people viewing the show. And that's a total lie. Also, we previewed Squatters, which I thought was going to be in the show, but it turned out the show was long enough to not have Squatters in it. Already had too much video comedy. And let's get right to the video comedy. It's Winky Todd, Everybody's a Star show. We did this in Des Moines and was hoping for a serial, but I think we had just a little too much stuff in it.
Duck's Breath Mystery Theater proudly presents the Jeff Dial Everybody's a Star show. 10 years ago, Jeff Dial had a dream. He had a dream and he had a Winnebago and television equipment. He had that too. Armed with the unique concept of video programming, Jeff and I, Chuck, travel this wide country in search of communities. Communities that want to be on television. Towns that want to be a star. Like a great ship setting down its anchor, we set down our broadcast tower. We set down our Winnebago. We set down ourselves for you.
Face painted gaily, young Ronald did ride, all with his soldiers, 2 shakes and large fries. Big Mac he rode with him, and Mayor Mac Cheese, to fight Colonel Sanders, his worst enemy.
Dano! Come over here, you crazy guy! Dano!
Yeah, I'm doing great, Jeff. You spend a lot of time in convenience stores?
Yeah, you might say I sort of live here.
Really?
Yeah, this is sort of like my home.
Really?
Yeah, I own the store.
Really?
Yeah, I own convenience stores all over the country.
Really?
In fact, I own convenience stores all over the world.
It's sports time, and the big sport here in Howdy and Toodaloo is miniature golf. Let's join Jeff for his favorite miniature golf hole and highlights of the Big Trap. we unhitched Jeff's golf cart from behind the Winnebago and headed for Golf Village. I was ready to meet the challenge of Toodaloo's most grueling course.
Doing shows, breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the student cafeteria, so bring your lunch and sing along. All right, moving into next year.
Well, that's great. Chuck Collins, Judy Collins' ex-husband. We wish him every luck because he is a star. Good luck, Chuck. And now it's time for one of our regular features. You know, life does get complicated, even here in Howdy and Toodaloo. But when it gets complicated, we can make things a little bit more simple by asking Mr. Science. So let's ask Mr. Science.
You want to hear about the Renaissance Fair? Well, you're singing all the songs. It's time once again for Ask Mr. Science. So let's ask Mr. Science. Remember, he knows more than you do. Well, Mr. Science, here's today's question. It's from Har, the newt. Remember, Mr. Science knows more than you do. I have a master's degree in science.
Howdy, we're back. And now, as a public service, Golden Tonsils here is going to tell you what's going on in the Howdy and Toodaloo area while Tammy's School of Ballroom and Tap perform their rendition of Alley Cat. Tammy, Chuck, what?
The Community Calendar. Collins tonight at the Area 12 Community College. 50 cents with your student ID, free to members of the community. Dano, the world's one and only, winds up a 2-week engagement tonight in the Big Lizard Room. The Gym Neighbors Look-alike Contest tomorrow right here at the Jefferson Washington Kennedy High School Gym. The Howdy Actuarial Society Number Shouting Contest this Sunday at the basement of the Y. Be ready to yell. Cheese logs and coffee will be provided. For sale or swap, Mrs. Norgard has 4 kittens she'd like to swap for at Davenport, $5 or more vodka. Finally, the stone throwing contest at the Easy Baptist Church, right between Howdy and Toodaloo. Wear your school colors and be ready to draw blood. I'm tired. So very tired.
Well, Chuck might be tired, but watching all that exercise made me hungry. So now it's time for another Jeff Dial feature.
Yeah, that was the Jeff Dial show. We went all in. IPBN went all in, and I think we went too far in. That was the problem. That is a really good show. That's selections from almost all of it, all the different parts, and it was really fun. And at some point, I'm going to take the whole show and put it up on Sunnyside. That's my new plan. After I get done with these 65 shows, that is going to start always with the Duck Smith Mystery Theater video. We're doing all the Duck Smith Mystery Theater videos in the playlist on Sunnyside YouTube that we're starting with the show. And then we're going to go through all of the videos taken from Grand Finale, the last performance, which I produced. And it was really good, but I didn't have any money to market it. So you're going to get to see it on here. That's what YouTube is for. It's for things that don't go anywhere else. Yeah! And that's a good thing because it'll last. And it's for the people. Yeah! All right. For the people, this is something new. Lan and I have been working on this for a while. And this is episode 6 of the history of comedy. The Resonance, not the Residents. The Residents, that's a group that did weird music a long time ago. It's the Renaissance. And let's see what the comedy is there in the Renaissance by hitting this button.
The history of comedy, Renaissance.
When comedy was reborn, along with painting in 2 dimensions that looked like 3 dimensions, comedy got going in Italy. The Commedia dell'arte, an improvised street theater with stock characters. Types derived from the ancient Romans, but types still seen in comedy today. Pantalone, the horny old man, made his money and now he's chasing after young women. Think Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, but hornier. He keeps his money in a bag hanging from his belt over his crotch. And anytime someone mentions his money, he grabs his money and his crotch in terror. Capitano, the braggart soldier, full of undocumented stories of his bravery. But if anyone taps him on the shoulder, unexpected, he jumps and soils himself, which took a lot of training to perform on cue. Dottore, the professor, a corpulent guy in a graduation robe, spouting fake Latin, and a la Wimpy in the Popeye cartoons, he'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Arlecchino, the servant guy, always hungry. He started so poor, his clothes were covered with patches. Then eventually they were all just patches. Then when he got successful playing poor, he still had all patches, but they were in a pattern, very hip looking. And there were real women on stage. Columbina and Isabella, the innamorata, the love interests, the hotties of their day. The guys all wore extreme masks, but the women showed their faces to attract a crowd. And of course, there was La Ruffiana, who was reported to be a hooker getting it on with whoever. There was a general storyline, but what they actually said was improvised, allowing the actors to incorporate local jokes to get more laughs, which often got them chased out of town or even the country. Not originating, but continuing the tradition of comedians getting canceled.
Yeah, I spent the weekend working on episodes of that, and I think it's really, really good. I realize now that I looked at all the episodes up to this, it's mostly about the bad stuff that surrounded comedy, because comedy is the way to deal with bad stuff. That's why we're here. That's why we're here under the rainbow, near the gold field, on the sunny side of the rainbow, near the gold field, to deal with the bad stuff. That's what Sunnyside is all about. And I'm so glad you're viewing. And let's wrap it up with the retrospections. Hollywood music managers, Jim Turner and Mark Fight being interviewed by Melissa Melody, which is actually Sarah Weed. And turned out pretty dang good. We Zoomed this during the pandemic, and it was fun. No, we didn't Zoom. We Zoomed Sunnyside.
Is the story about the Midnight Prowler true?
Oh, that was a bit of a backfire.
Mega backfire.
Yeah. See, if I may, Roger saw the Midnight Prowler walking down the street one night, and he said, "That guy is going to be a star," right? He tried to catch up with him, but the Midnight Prowler just disappeared. Really spooky. Eventually, Roger tracked him down, and he said, "I'm going to make you a star." And the Midnight Prowler was just this guy, and he said, "I can't sing. I can't play guitar. I'm not a musician. I'm not a star, man."
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah. And Roger just smiled, and he said, "You leave that up to me."
And I bought him a guitar and a leather jacket.
Like you've done so many times before for so many others.
There's so many others.
Yeah, we got leather jackets in bulk.
Keeping an eye on the bottom line.
It turns out the Midnight Prowler wasn't a rock star. He was a serial killer.
Okay, so many were in the 70s.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this guy kept trophies of his kills in Tupperware. Super crazy. Hands and feet. He didn't go on to rock fame as Roger had intended. He went to prison for life, right? Oh my God. Roger was also under investigation because they had become such close buddies.
Unfortunately, I have a large freezer in the basement. You know, I just like frozen things so much. And they found Tupperware in my freezer with feet in them. But the police released me. No charges were pressed.
Yeah. Midnight Prowler spent a night at Rogers.
I have a guest room.
Well, you're lucky you still have your feet.
Yeah. That's the life of music managers in Hollywood, California. And I mean, that's the place where music managers are. There's a lot, and they're really weird because everybody wants to be a star. And if people sing, they think they sing really good, and they go to Hollywood, and then, well, they don't start the show again. They say, they get to Hollywood and they go, well, here I am. And sometimes Hollywood notices, and sometimes they don't.